Happy Easter, everyone. I hope everyone has had a really good Sunday. I got on here and it's pre recorded, and I only got on here for a few minutes because I wanted to address be quiet, Remy. I wanted to be quiet. I wanted to address some of the emails and some of the comments that I have been getting as it relates to young Dolph and the cookie shop. For some reason, people want to they want for me to say that the cookie shop was involved. As I've always said, you know, I don't know if the cookie shop was involved. I know there's a people. I was looking at some videos where they was talking, people have been talking about, it has been circulating about a video of the cookie shop and their involvement with one of um, with Big Jook or whatever. Um, I don't know. The only thing that I can say is because I don't jump to a whole lot of conclusions. The only thing that I can say is when you have, you know, investigators that are working a case and they are highly sophisticated investigators, you know, I don't I don't see them not looking at everything, you know. And just because something looks suspicious don't mean that anything is wrong. Of course I don't try to take up for people. I don't, I don't. um I just, I don't have a whole lot to say about that, simply because um I know that there are investigators on this case and federal agents, and I just don't think that there will be any wheels left unturned. I think I've said before, as far as the cookie shop, I don't know what their relationship was with Young Doll. I know I've heard people say that there was various stories where people said that they had a really good relationship, they was cool, and he patronized their shop. But understand now, when you have a business, anybody can patronize your business. It does not mean, you know, you know, you have a business for everybody to patronize. And the reason I say this is because I want everybody to keep an open mind. I'm not saying don't have your thoughts or your thoughts are wrong. I'm just saying just kind of keep an open mind and try not to get angry. Allow the investigators and the federal agents to do their thing. Now, people was talking about that video. I kind of like to look beyond. I like to look beneath the surface instead of just looking at the surface, because once you look beneath the surface, that's normally where all the answers at, right? And I'm giving you an example, such as, let's just say that somebody has like a breakout or something. You could see on the surface, you could see the rash or whatever above their skin. But once you start drawing blood and you start looking beneath the surface, sometimes you see that they might have some kind of infection in their blood, or um, you start to see what's causing the problem, you know, if that makes any sense. Oftentimes with the doctors, you have an allergic reaction to something, you start to see exactly all the answers normally lie beneath the surface. That's why I don't ever really jump to conclusions by looking beyond the surface, right? Or just scratching the surface. So, it, people go, well, it's suspicious because I've been receiving emails. Well, there are a lot of things that are suspicious to me. There are a lot of things that's suspicious to me that I don't necessarily say a whole lot of things about. Um, Number one, what I've realized is getting on here and saying too much, you kind of alert the enemy whoever that is. Sometimes you can give too much information. So I said I was going to watch that anyways. And I'm talking about, as far as anything, the access that one may have, or things that you find available. People start trying to get slicker in what they do. So as far as that situation with the cookie shop and with CMG, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Um but I do trust the investigators to, if they are persons of interest, and I don't know. I don't really know what they're secretly doing. I don't even know why that was posted. You know, I kind of, if I was gonna look into that and see this young Dolph situation, I like to talk about it. Um, I you know I do, but as far as going into a deep investigation, that's something that I don't do, because I trust the investigators to do it the way that they do it. I don't have all of I don't have everything to even go into a deep investigation. They know a lot of things that we don't even know, right? So I just don't believe in going into investigations handicap. And let me just give an example. Such as when I do take cases, right? I always tell my clients, you gotta tell me everything. And it's even in their contracts. When they start to withhold information, when they start to release some information, we will abort the investigation, because no investigator likes to go into an investigation blindsided, not unless they're going into it, like I said, because sometimes, you have cases where people go missing, and the families they have no clue of nothing, right? But that's different. But when you have other investigators, and investigators respect each other, and they have findings, they have information, that they don't release because they can't release. You don't ever release your findings. You don't ever release who your witnesses are, because you have to protect your witnesses. That's stuff. These are people that's going to help a case. And the people that are still out on the street, they are working hard to try to figure out what's going on, so that they can try and eliminate the threat. Even though they putting out hits and crazy things, and they know that people know who they are, they're still sending feeble-minded people out and paying them and saying, well, hey, that's gonna be on them if they get caught. I give them the bag some kind of way or another if they can get away with it. But if they get caught, they're on their own. You know. Um. But anyways, because I start getting into a whole lot of different stuff. But as far as the cookie shop and Young Dolph, y'all, that's just something that it's not obvious to me. It's not obvious to me, because a lot of things that look obvious are not. Does it look suspicious? Of course. But there has to be some proof, and a lot of people swear that they have proof of things and they know things. I think if you do, the best thing to do is to get that down there to the investigators that's working this case, you know. So that's my answer to that. I'm very mellowed out on that, and I'm gonna say why. And the reason for that is because I truly believe that the people that are on this case is going in the right direction. Okay, they are the investigators. They are the federal agents. And the young man got on here and said, "You act as if the federal government is above the law, that they're God." No, I know that they're not God. I would never put anybody in a God-like position. unlike some of these other people. There's a whole lot of people put a lot of these celebrities in a godlike position, which is why they lose all sense of reality. They forget that they're not God, and they put people in a God. They put themselves in a godlike position, and people put them in a high place that they should actually have God. But I do got sense enough to know when the government is sick of you and your BS, and the people is screaming out, "You got to do something." Then they let all these people who have themselves in a godlike position know that you're not God. They start to take them down. So I just don't have any doubts about whoever, and I don't really know who's all involved. I don't, but I don't have any doubt that they're going to be taken down, because I think people started to make mistakes when they started taking folks out that they thought was going to be threats to them. Okay, there have been quite a few people that was taken out. You know, who took them out? I don't know, but I don't have any doubts that the authorities don't know. You know, and people go, well, how come they had not arrested them? You know, when you don't know a whole lot about investigations, you have to understand that it is a process so that nobody gets off. So if we had a bunch of emotional investigators and federal agents, this whole world would be messed up, right? This whole world would be messed up if they moved based on what people that know nothing about investigations said that they should do. And then folks would talk about them like a dog if they did a microwave investigation and then the people got out. They can go right on. If they was to arrest somebody and charge them with young Dolph's murder at this point, other than the people that they have, and they get off, they can go right on Instagram and say, "Yeah, I did it." They can never be tried again because of the double jeopardy law. So my answers to all of the frustration, and I can't understand why people would get mad at me. It could be because I'm an investigator, but I'm not good at what I do because I'm emotional. I'm a good person, but there's a difference in being a good person and being a good investigator. Okay. I've been trained. I've been trained by some of the best, and I constantly get training. So I understand what is going on. Okay. I understand, but I just don't dip my hands in it. You're not going to ever get me to say anything emotional. Sometimes I've gotten emotional, when I start thinking about some of the things that I've heard from reliable sources. People say, well, people always talking about reliable sources. I ain't, my sources are reliable for real, for real. Okay. So I'm not easy to manipulate either, because folks start saying that they want you to tell who your source is. You ain't gonna know. Okay. But just know it's reliable. Okay. But when I start hearing things from reliable sources, people that would know, okay, and I ain't talking about people out in the street. I ain't talking about, as they would call civilians. Okay. Um, but people that would know, and I ain't no talk about no gang members. I'm talking about people that have insight on what is happening with this case every day. Okay. Um, and sometimes I get emotional because it didn't have to happen. But then I get emotional sometimes when I think about what the families are going through and how we're just killing each other for no reason. Because I like to see Black people do good. You know, I do. But what I can't understand is how Black men are taking money for hits and they're getting ready to go away from their families, their children. That's an evil thing when you could take somebody's life just for some money and you let another man send you out to do that. They can't do it themselves, okay? Because their life means something to in their eyes. I can't get caught up in doing my own hit, my own stuff, because I could go to jail just like they know you, just like a lot of y'all get ready to go. Because a lot of them look at my stuff, okay? And you have children. If a person want to see you win, they put you in a position to win, and it ain't got nothing to do with anything illegal at all. But they set you up to win. It ain't got nothing to do with going and doing no hits or anything like that, because stuff like that gets you taken out. Okay, it gets you taken out. It gets you locked up and away from your children who need you the most. But the problem is, too many grown men are putting other men first because they want to be in with somebody, whatever they think they can give them, and they don't think about their children, because you can make money outside of a life of crime, especially taking people's lives. Some of these folks are being looked at as serial killers because they've taken so many hits. People in the communities are tired of this. They're tired of it. They're tired of people putting hits on their loved ones and on their friends. These people are the ones that's got to live in these communities. They want their communities back. So the only thing I can say, I was saying these setup girls, hey, they should have chose their children. They should have chose themselves, whoever they are, because them people coming for them. They're coming for them. It's a shame when somebody put crime or let somebody pull them into their mess and into a life of crime, and they put that before they put their own children, their own family. As a mother, that's a messed up thing, you know. Um, and unfortunately, there comes a time when all of that stuff stops. Do I think that the feds or whatever are God? No. But I know there's some bad mofos, because I have a group of investigators that have retired, or a few that have retired, that works right with me. I take contracts from the federal government. So I know what the feds are capable of. And I'm happy that they are involved in this case. I'd bet on them any day than some cokehead that has put themselves in a godlike position that has been destroying their community, all because people have put them in high places for whatever reasons, whether it's money, status, or whatever. I'm gonna bet on the feds because I know what they can do. And I know that they can stop those with the money because they got the authority to do it. So I don't put them in a God position, but if I had to bet on one or the other, I'm a always take my chances on them. Um, I mean, they the real gang to me. They the legal gang. Okay. So to that young man that said that, I don't think he meant no harm. And I ain't mad about it, but I'm just going, if I had to bet, maybe you'll bet on somebody else, but I'm gonna bet on them because I seen what happens. Because even at this point, it seems like some people they're putting some people to flee. So when people finish talking, it's something effective that they're doing, because they're putting those that think that they're God to some type of flee. And it's sad that they're scattering them out, but they're still able to put some of these feeble-minded men and women on a mission. But they ain't gonna tell them that the folks all over me. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna even alert. They don't even care enough about you to alert you. They just hoping that you can hit somebody that they want taken out. And they don't care about you getting caught. They're not gonna say, "Man, them folks on my tail, man." Um, but I guess people think that they've gotten smart. But it's getting ready to be a lot of people to go away. And it ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with no other vlogger. Okay. It's got everything to do with them. Because at some point, this stuff has to end. It's a darn shame when people are a menace to society. And then because of their egos, they just won't even stop. You know? And it has nothing to do with anybody else. So if you want me to get on here and say something about the cookie shop and all of that, I don't have anything to really say about that. I just kind of let, if there's something with that, I trust the people that are investigating this, if it's something with it, to handle it. But I'm not going to get on here and accuse anybody, because I've never accused anybody. I've always said I just kind of let the wheels of justice turn, because I understand that it's turning. And just because you're not showing a curious public that wants something to vlog about and messing up your investigation, because see, you have to understand a lot of these people are not on here for young Dolph. A lot of these people have been zoned in on, and the folks know that they've been put on here to, as other things. But I mean, there is nothing wrong with being a plant to change the narrative. Like I said, it becomes criminal when you try to bully people, when you try to harass people. There ain't nothing wrong with them messing with your minds. But I understand. I understand. This is just entertainment. But there's nothing against the law when you make a fool out of folks. I just know a lot of people that's eating off of Dolph. They doing some good eating. I guess, well, this, I I mean, I did get a YouTube check. It was I think it was $120. It don't even pay for my gas in none of my vehicles. So I mean, you know, anyways, that's what I was getting on here for. And I know that's not going to be the answer that a whole lot of people want. But the only thing I could say is, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything, let the wheels of justice turn. Stop going looking for things to try. And now you're going to see a lot of folks go to jail because, like I said, people will do anything for money. When you start to interfere with an investigation and you purposely do it and try to intimidate witnesses and things of that nature, that's a crime. Witness tampering is a crime. Okay. So you're going to see a lot of people to go away. As I say, listen to the verbiage. And there are a lot of people that are on here for Dolph. There are a lot of people that kind of hit it on the head. A lot of what has happened, they kind of hit it on the head. But the thing I can say is, when you have a gift, when God has blessed you to be able to, some of them, I'm not talking to those ones that was put here to as a plant. I don't even want to change your mind, because you doing a job. A lot of these people have a job to do. They're being paid to do it. They're being paid to change the narrative. But those that are truly on here searching for answers, or whatever, if that's what it is, because the investigators are, have a lot of answers. But for those that's on here trying to get the truth out, the only thing I could say about that is, don't proceed with caution. Don't interfere. Don't mess up an investigation, because it's a lot of people that truly want justice for Dolph. And don't be easily influenced. Okay? Because at this point, a lot of people don't want their image messed up, but they should have thought about that before all of this stuff happened, whoever that is. And I don't know who it is. I just know it's a lot of people that's working hard to change the narrative. These folks will get right on YouTube, and they got no problem with setting people up. Set up people for some money, and that's a crying shame. you know that's a crying shame. So I guess my thing is with the emails, I had not even received no emails. So in order for me to be receiving some emails now, and I received a lot of them last night, I know it's with sincerity. A lot of people are frustrated, but as I say, just let the wheels of justice turn. Don't accuse people if you don't know yet. I'm not trying to change your mind about how you feel. Feel how you're gonna feel. The best thing that people can do at this point is pray. And I do mean that with a lot of sincerity, because this thing is going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly before it gets better. I don't want to see when people are desperate, they start doing any and everything, even with the folks watching them, because they got people that are stupid, that care more about them than they do their own life. And then when people are on all kinds of pills and drugs and things of that nature, they know they can get them to try anything. They can get them to try anything. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing that some people gonna die because they trying the wrong people. They've allowed them to focus in on the wrong people, because there are just some people that you just can't mess with. But when you have that, um, when you're on that cocaine and stuff, a lot of them, and you put yourself in a godlike position, you feel like I can pay somebody to try them, and that's when you just messed up. The thought of it, just the thought of it, you've messed up because there's some people you just can't try and come after. But a lot of times it has to happen, and I think the young Dolph was one of those ones, as well as some of these vloggers and some of these people that you thought these people thought that they can shut up. It's just some people you can't mess with. You know, people want to gang stalk folks and see if they can get close to them. The people already know what they're doing. It's just some people you can't mess with. Some people have been set up and taken out, and some and they had people who took money to help them. It's just some people you can't mess with, and like I said, the folks more than likely already know. They already know. So my thing is just let the wheels of justice turn, you all, and just keep praying. No, trust me, people think that they're getting away with stuff. They never really get away. I promise you, they don't. They don't get away. Sometimes it takes a little time and you get impatient. But from what I'm hearing, Young Dolph's family has a relief because they know that justice is going to be served. Just because you don't hear them say anything, I think they're doing good not to. They're preparing for a court date. I mean, for a trial. Y'all don't know the twists and turns that are going to be in there. And there have been a lot of bloggers to do quite a bit of good stuff. I mean, they have. But as I say, those of you that have personalities, you're truly in this for dogs, don't be easily influenced because, there are a lot of bloggers with um, quite a bit of subscribers. And they normally come after those ones to try and confuse them so that they can lose their credibility. They understand in this business, if you don't have any credibility, you know, um, nobody would believe you, even if you had the proof. So, like I said, I choose to let the wheels of justice turn, and I want to see people safe, you know, because I was listening to somebody yesterday, and they were saying that a vlogger had been threatened. To the men, don't take that lightly. When you're being threatened, you need to contact them folks and let them look into that because they can. You know, they can. There have been quite a few bloggers that have been threatened. You know, so let them look into that. They have a YouTube team of investigators and agents. That's what they do all day. They investigate internet crimes. And when people are bold enough to get on the internet and to be calling folks phones and stuff, to that means that they're desperate and they got to be cracked out. So a lot of times they need to go spend the rest of their lives in jail because they're too stupid to be on the street anyways. So don't just always take precautionary measures because when people are desperate, desperate people do desperate things, especially when they can send out desperate people for a little money. They don't care anything about themselves, the people that they send out. So, anyways, with that being said, y'all, and at this point, you got to be a fool to be setting up folks trying to set people up because you think um, they might know something. Um, I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that. But just let the wheels of justice turn because it is turning. It is turning. Just because you don't see it don't mean it's not turning. Just keep praying for Young Dolph's family. Keep doing the right thing. Like I said, I would never be the first to accuse anybody. What happens is they have people that they have people that they pay to to do things like this. I remember one of my clients, I had this case that I was hired for. My team and I were hired for. And I remember I asked my client something. I said, "What do you think?" And I'll never forget. He said, "I don't think anything. I pay you the big bucks. I go with whatever you think." So I said that to say this. I said, "Okay." I said that to say this. You got a lot of federal agents and investigators that are getting paid the big bucks. I'm going to wait for their findings. And then I'm going to go with whatever it is that they think. Okay. In this case, you'll mess around and worry yourself to death. Okay. And like I said, there are a lot of people that have a lot of good content. And I think that their heart and stuff is in the right place. But understand there are a lot of people that was put here to deter people. And that's another thing. Like when people are paid plants or they take money, it's weird. It's something when the people already know, but there's nothing criminal about it. It becomes criminal when you start harassing people, when you start trying to slander people, when you start with that, when you start trying to bully and threaten people. That's different. And you know, a lot of people so dumb they feel like that they can change up the verbiage, when they threaten people. Well, you might want to take that down. That's intimidation. That's criminal. So you can't change it up. So to the young man that posted, you know I act like the feds are God. No, but I think I bet my last on them rather than the criminals. Because it seemed like to me the criminals are in desperation. Y'all, I believe that young Dolph is going to get justice. And as far as the cookie shop, like I said, I don't know who worked in that cookie shop. I don't know if anybody in that cookie shop. I won't. I won't say that because I don't know. But whatever went on, I have no doubt that the investigators and the federal agents aren't going to leave any wheels unturned. So, with that being said, y'all have a good Easter because I'm getting ready to finish up my homemade baked macaroni. Love you guys.